Hello, hello, hello to all of you wonderful people out there. This is PC0813 giving you all a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our Pro Traders Lounge, New York Daily Open Live session. We have a few pro traders on here with us. We're going to be doing some live analysis. So without too much more preamble, I will go ahead and let Michael go ahead and get his screen up here, and I will let him go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, PC, for the intro. So welcome everyone from my side, everyone that is new here or coming through YouTube. Basically, we got a Discord up where we share our ideas live, and we are about to launch soon. We have about 12 to 14 sessions every week for you, and I will show you quickly what we went over yesterday and also during yesterday's daily open live session. So basically, during the day, was a nice day because we got a waves cluster. So I informed the guys basically inside the group around this time here that we have a waves cluster up here, and I expect it to be resistance. So you see exactly where we've topped out and are ranging right now. So basically, as long as this cluster is not broken, I expect more downside, and if we break through it, more upside. So I'm mostly scalping. So also during basically yesterday's New York Open session, I was going through a scalp short that I took on the stream with the team. So basically a small retrace of the wick above the cluster, which resulted in 2% scalp, more or less. So nice scalp there. But I also mentioned I would still prefer a bit lower for everyone who missed the low. So basically, you have seen in the intro in YouTube all the charts and predictions that were shared inside the Pro Traders launch before they happened and why we bounced from where we bounced here. Nice swing failure and a lot of other levels that were shared by Trader R, Martin, or other pro traders inside the launch. And for me, basically, we got a nice reaction here at the top. And I would love to go back to either the previous day equilibrium or VWAP close for a nice scalp long entry, or we also created a new daily below yesterday, which could also offer a nice scalp opportunity. Just to wind it back, I really love the VWAP closes. You can also see here, basically, on the previous day, VWAP close was exactly the level nearly to the dollar where we started to head down. So really nice reaction here. And if we can get back down in this area, I would love to see a reaction from here or the daily.
Dude, I love the speed of waves template. And you're going to be releasing that after the launch, right?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, it's a template that shows you fast sells or buys with deltas in a certain time frame, and most of the time it identifies clusters of bigger players being aggressive. So instead of looking at volume, it looks at the time perspective of the market, and it gives really nice SR levels, areas, never exact levels, but still a good area where we can range between two clusters, for example. Or you can see here, like the cluster appeared, and after I identified it, we went exactly here, and now we are ranging perfectly here inside the cluster. So for me, I would still prefer to break it to the downside, get a reaction on the previous day equilibrium or on the daily for more upside. Or if we cannot reclaim it, swing failure, basically the low, and see where we can go from there.
And for all of you watching, take a mental note of this cluster that Michael's showing, because I'm going to show my charts last. I'm going to have Nico Kronos go next. But these clusters line up almost perfectly with a pocket of inefficiencies that I've identified. So just take a note of that and see how it matches over to the TA I'm going to show you guys. But that's the beauty of groupthink when you have different tools pointing towards the same area. Michael, anything to add before I shift over to Nico's Bitcoin view?
Shift over and I can come back later eventually.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Nico, we got your charts up. What's going on, bud?
Hey guys. So welcome to our live session, and all the best from my side. So yeah, what is Bitcoin actually doing is just my view is just short squeezing everyone. Open interest is dropping like crazy in this pump. So you got amazing shorts at this area that were just getting aggressive. I don't know if you wanted to short, you would probably short here, get in a position, but I don't know why they all started aggressively shorting at this area. So what that tells me is everyone is scared, probably wanting low, wanted the low 70k is taken out, and so on and so on. So we just took some um, previous lows, didn't come basically to the lower low. So there was a lot of liquidity here and a lot of shorts. So this combined was a fantastic short squeeze. Uh, I think I posted. Just give me a second. Yeah, I posted this actually before we bottomed out. So yeah, we have this nice big internal trend line, which I know PC is PC loves it. So yeah, you got a couple of resistances every time we hit it. It's a simple tool, but you can use whatever you want if it helps you. It helped a lot with my bias. So those shorts, those liquidity runs, and just that back test at Asia. And as I said many times, Asia is the best time to trade. You get that one perfect week, and that's it. Like no New York shenanigans, 10 weeks, 10 liquidity grabs. Just that 1 week, and you can just long it if it comes to that area, stop loss under it, and it was an amazing trade. So currently, we are rejecting with really massive CVD divergences at the top. We did hit weekly VWAP, which was a main confluence for me. Also, the last touch was just taking out these highs. Yeah, and in 1 minute we got Paul speaking, so we might get some volatility. Had a nice order block here, and as Dookie a lot of time mentions, he likes the daily candles to have a wick. I also like lower time frames to have a wick if we get an imbalance after that. So we had to we had today in the morning we had London session. So we went through all our plans, what I'm thinking for, and my idea is still just taking shorts until we get something like this, maybe take those lows, or go lower. Basically, also would prefer an amazing scenario if we come here at these lows. We have a naked daily bottom control on Binance. The lower range where we first time dumped to 70k, we got that consolidation and a lot of volume is there still untapped, which we could come and stop a lot of people, take a lot of liquidity also from at these highs. You got a lot of longs and buys stepping in. Of course, FOMO. So yeah, just waiting for lower, waiting for this low to be taken. Here is a 1 hourly or order block, but I think we take those lows out. Waiting also for this lower order block. Those are mainly for scalps. I'm not so much into swing trades, so I give all my updates in. We have a channel, so every 5 minutes I update you with if there's bear CVD of what is my opinion of what is Bitcoin going to do, and so I just post my levels, and I'm like always there with you when something is happening, and yeah, we have the anchored VWAP also here, so we'll see if we get some reaction here. But as I said, this would be nice. For upper targets, if we start moving, I said I wouldn't prefer to give you, let's say value area low of this range. This is my target, or POC. This is my target. So if we start to squeeze up here, we are probably going to blast through. So I'm just going to wait for some reactions levels I have given in the London sessions today. So just basically patiently waiting for upside when we do get some upside. But yeah, mainly, as I said, would like this low taken out, or preferably also make a double low, so making a higher low, or this area down here. Because on Binance and on Bybit, you got massive volume down here, which again, we got equal lows and untapped volume, which usually gives a combination for some kind of a bounce. So yeah, main area is this purple area for my longs, and of course down here, or that lower higher low. So we'll see. We are getting the reaction from the anchored VWAP, and Paul is speaking, so volatility is, of course, has started. But
I can definitely attest to Nico always being in the chats with his volume updates. I love him personally. He's always there, and it helps provide confluence to what I'm seeing. And then to touch on a comment he made earlier about his internal trend line and why I love it so much. I love internal trend lines because no one ever looks for them. People see trend lines on one side, it breaks, and then they take them off their chart. And if that trend line continues to be respected, as Nico's showing you, it can offer some pretty good trades, at the very least some nice take profit points. So that's just a little insight into why I like those.
Very strong, especially if they are so long active and so long an SR flip, which in my opinion I'm going to just hold on this trend line for once it starts washing out, but for now it's still valid. Every touch is valid. So yeah, we went through also Nasdaq. So in the morning we go like everything to Nasdaq, ES, gold, oil, everything like that. Make some plans. Yeah, so that's my look view on BTC, but yeah, I can't put everything out in 15-10 minutes, but in our sessions as sailing, as Michael said, we have like 2-3 sessions a day, so you guys can really go into our minds and look at what
Great
everyone is
insights,
looking
man.
at. And yeah, so
Really great insight. So
that's
for
it from
everyone
me.
that had some issues with the quality here on the stream, we will share some charts afterwards in the waiting room inside the Discord. And maybe the pro trader decides to put the recording up, and that should be in higher quality then. So if you have some questions, type it into YouTube or into the waiting room, and we will come back to those later. So who's next?
Let's take a look at Mr. HPAUL, Pauler the Mauler. How are you doing, bud?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, wherever you are as well. So, yes, hello. I've zoomed out on a longer sort of time frame here. I'm going to go over BTC today and my thoughts and plays on this. Been pretty simplistic, actually. I was looking at this falling wedge here. Which broke down as they often do, with it being a very pretty standard retail pattern. You know, these are obviously faked out. I think as everybody noticed it. I anticipated this, as a lot of people did in the group. Anticipated this swing failure here of this this low here. And of course, we did sort of swing failure that low, and we've come up. And give me one moment, I will range. We came back within this value area. I took a cheeky long on that swing failure, anticipating a potential swing. However, this is trading. I could be stopped out, but I took the trade because I planned it. And I'm hoping, and what we do get are two different things, to see Bitcoin come up and range and at least test the edge of my macro channel here and fall. Having said that, we have to prepare for the worst, and should we lose the value area again, I'll be looking for a short and a retest. Obviously, the most sensible trade is to go with the trend on this, but we are at fairly strong support here. And for me, that was part of my plan. As I say, it doesn't suit everybody, and it's against the trend, but no risk, no gain. Yeah, really, in summary, that's my plan for Bitcoin. There we go. Very very simple plan there, and let's see what happens.
Love it, Paul. I love it, man. I appreciate your insight. Now I'm gonna make a little request. If I can gimme some Emmy. You out there, bud? Can you hear us?
Hey guys. Hello. Can you guys hear me?
We sure can.
Oh, good. Right, can you see my screen?
Yes, looking good.
Yeah, good. Right, I think the purpose of this this stream is to kind of showcase what we can do. But a lot of you guys in the group know that we can hit the scalps, the day trades, swing trades, all day long. We do it over and over again, and we share them as much as possible. But I want to make this one slightly more educational. This little clip of what I'm doing now. So past few days we had some really nice moves on the dollar that inversely correlated perfectly with the ES and Bitcoin. So I just want to show you guys what I saw. So firstly, I think a lot of people know about imbalances, and imbalance is just where price a candle made a big move and didn't make a back test. So on the dollar, there's an imbalance here. That's the nearest one to current price action. So price entered that imbalance, and to me that's a resistance zone already. There's a lot of volatility in there. There's trap traders in there. There's underwater traders in there. There's something normally happens at this sort of level or this sort of zone. If you zoom into it on a daily or say weekly, you see you can enhance it. I like to enhance these things. So I look for order blocks and SR levels. So if you look here, there's a very nice SR level here for a potential flip. And so to me, this is already a very very strong resistance area. So what we got yesterday was this move here. Zoom into the 1 hour chart, and almost an exact touch off that resistance level. And from that already gives me I don't trade the dollar index, but I do like using this kind of thing as a bias for other moves. So yesterday I was saying, is it yesterday? Day before yesterday, I was saying that I'm expecting a rejection from the dollar index. Nice move down because it's a high time frame level. You expect a big move on a high time frame level, and that should coincide with a move up on the ES, which it did at that point there. And the same thing happened with Bitcoin. Bitcoin made a big move up from there as well. So that's just an example of how I like using the dollar index to predict moves on the ES and Bitcoin. And you can do the same thing locally. Oh, there's a big move on the dollar now because I guess it's the Powell speech causing this. So yeah, you can see already there were some imbalances here that are being tested. Delete that one. And the end. I'm really into order block trading, but the end of an imbalance is an order block, and it's like the last line of resistance here is an order block. So that's the last one. We often get bounces from order blocks as well. So I love trading order blocks. So we're coming into here. We tasted that one, taking that one out. Yeah. So it's coming. You can see the dollar's back testing these imbalances. You'd expect some kind of movement like this into this kind of area or even higher. and move down again. The reason for that is I also see consolidation, consolidation, and a swing point. To me, this is always a key level for a rejection, either from that level there or from there. There's a lot of resistance in the way I see things. So at swing points, there's hardly a swing point you get with no reaction. So that's the kind of areas I would like to look at on the dollar index. So if we get that move up and a rejection from the dollar, the ES will do the opposite. The ES I expect to do make some kind of move down. You can see there's imbalance there. That's been tested. So another one here. Expect some kind of move down or reversal. Bitcoin, same kind of thing. Levels here, levels there already been tested. Some kind of move down before reversal. So you can use the dollar index in clever ways just to predict price action. Right now, I'm not in a trade right now, but I'm seeing more downside. And again, my bias is normally engulfing candles. If I see engulfing candles, that gives me a bias to where price wants to go. There's some big price action, negative, bearish price action here. That gives me a little bias, thinking at best case you'll get a reversal into this zone and back down again, or just continuation downwards. Sorry for all the messy pen marks, but yeah, that's me done on this sector for now.
I love it, Amy. It's really nice that your levels and your technique aligns with my thoughts basically, or my levels, even if it's two completely different things.
Yeah, you get and SR levels are so easy to trade. Look,
yeah,
high time frame SR levels. Look at this one here. You got support, break, back test, and price is not going to break through that easily. You need some consolidation first if it's going to break it. So the higher probability trade in before we break this line alone is a short, which is why I said the other day when we were down here somewhere, I said I'm looking for a move up. Take this liquidity here. These there's some equal highs around here somewhere. I think it was. Yeah, there's a few equal highs we had. I said I'd like to see us take some liquidity and then make take some of these highs, make a move up towards this zone, and what I was saying in the live stream a few days ago, that's a high probability short. The move up wasn't high probability, but the rejection from there was, because we know there's very, very strong resistance there, and it's going to be very difficult to break through that in one go. So I took a short in this kind of region, and we had a few retraces, but it's still looking more like price wants to go downwards. And when it comes to the lows, you can, if you just draw some liquidity levels, you can see there's still some equal lows that can easily get taken out. We took that one, but I think there's another one here. Yeah, so it's relatively equal lows. So there's still a lot of potential for price to just take these lows, come into that kind of zone and back up again. And there's loads and loads of activity in these two candles here. So again, I would expect some kind of rejection before it drops below those levels. If it does drop below those levels, I would expect some kind of reaction first from this zone. And if you look at XO charts, you'll see it on TradingView. You don't really see much. XO charts will show you there's a ton of activity there.
Nice one.
Yeah, that's me. That's me done for now.
Thanks, Amy.
Thanks.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Amy.
No worries.
We got a question from Jacob P. For Neto. Why did Neto categorize the higher low at the bottom as an equal low? Isn't it just a higher low?
Screen. Let me just. Okay, just give me a second so I can get my chart cleaner. So yeah, why do I use the equal lows word even if it's a higher low? Mainly because I mean, they don't have to be equal like really to the dollar equals. It can be, the next low can be just a few dollars higher, but that's where the money lies. and I can show you an example of previous one that I took. It was back in the upper range. Where is it? Yeah. So this one, you can always get a scalp for this, but again, you have to check out the volume inside if the business is finished here. So things like that. So same as at the lows that I show you. So you have a lower a low and then a higher low, and it got taken out and it went down eventually. But from that liquidity grab, you got 1% and more of a bounce. So this for me is, as I said, I'm more of a scalper, and for me, this is a very nice area where we potentially could bounce. And as you see here again, you got same scenario. So low, a little bit higher low, and wait if I can just if I can share my screen. Okay. So
Must be a
I
large
don't know.
screen because it looks very elongated. I don't know if you can max that out.
Can you see this screen normally? So let me show you the lows on
Yes.
Vibe.
Much better.
On Bybit. So on Bybit, you have, as you can see, you have a lot of untapped volume here, a lot of longs, and you got a lot of shorts here trapped, and a lot of longs again after that. So what I would like for is just to come down to that imbalance area, tap this untapped volume, and then maybe get that scalp. Maybe even take these here lows, which I don't think we will. If we will, then we'll come to this area where the trap shorts are. So yeah, this is something I trade and post all of these imbalances all the time in the group.
This is magical stuff, man. Every time you share a chart like this, I'm like, what the hell is he doing here? I love it. Like, I'm so looking forward to your modules.
You can see we got the reaction again. Insta here, reaction here, long. So yeah, these are a couple of things I will show when the group opens. So yeah, be surprised. I hope you will be surprised.
Thank you, Nico.
I will be. So just a quick one for everyone new here or the people that have joined through YouTube and don't know about the Discord. Basically, we have channels where the pro traders post setups, like non-hindsight stuff, setups about markets, altcoins, cryptocurrencies, daily. And we got live sessions in there, voice session, video sessions, screen share sessions, basically. And there will be modules about each specialty, like Netzo will go over heat maps, agar trade, like a lot of crazy stuff for you. I will cover speed of waves, wave clusters, and so on. There will be a lot of nice stuff for you once the doors open.
Ain't that the truth? Speaking the words of wisdom here, folks. Nico, thank you so much for answering that question. Is there any more questions for Nico before I move on to my portion here that you can see, Michael?
No, so far no questions.
Where are people asking questions? Is it the waiting room, or can they do it in
YouTube and waiting room?
In YouTube as well. Okay, cool.
Good point.
Alrighty, well, I'll go ahead and pull up my charts then. You know when you guys can see them. And I'm going to do the reverse of a Sunday. So I am going to start from the low time frames, and I'm going to work my way up into the higher time frames. So if you were on the daily close session, or start of the Bitcoin day, I apologize, you already heard this. These are a couple of scalp long areas that I identified in the lower time frame. Now, why did I identify these boxes specifically? This one obviously gave a nice bounce, still being contained within this tap. But what I really like is the volume. You can see here at the top of this rectangle, right here, we have a nice volume ledge on the rise up. a nice volume ledge on the rise down. I know that's some kind of area of interest. From there, we have inefficiencies. Let me go ahead and mute somebody. We have inefficiencies lying right here, right here, right here. I mean, we have some inefficiencies to take out below us. As you can see, I have labeled a volume gap. What I really like about this volume gap is that it was a high volume node on the impulse down. So I do like this for an SFP level of this local volume gap. Moving down into our lower area of interest around the golden pocket. This is a nice combination just in reverse, where we had a high volume node on the way down turning into imbalances, or I should say inefficiencies right here. And specifically, a whole pocket of inefficiencies in this area. From there, I can see us coming down to kind of tap. I really should have dragged this triangle down a hair more to encompass the end right here, right where you see that inefficiency. I could see that being a nice kind of wick through the 6-6 point and turning into a local low. If we're going to make some kind of deep retrace without taking the lows, Mr. El Jefe in the El Jefe fib, the 0.92 to 0.95. 0.92 is lining up with the value area low of the impulse up. Once I get into my volume tutorials, you will understand my method of why I like to look at value areas of impulses, what it shows me. I mean, right now, what I'm seeing from my theory and my perspective is that we are holding the value area high of the impulse up. For now, it's locally bullish because it has not broken within its own value area of the impulse. That is how I use those value areas. Moving on to a slightly higher time frame, onto the 4-hour chart. I identified yesterday, again at the daily close and open, a nice pocket of inefficiencies that yesterday's move up cleared for the most part. For the most part, not entirely, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But you can see right here, quite clearly, we have a nice pocket of inefficiencies sitting right here, clear as day, exactly where we wicked up into. Not terribly difficult to see how I came up with that. But what I do like is how we have this little area right here. It's untapped, still inefficiencies. It's also the value area low of the impulse down. I would like for that to be tested. That would be, if we were going to SFP today's high and not really go much further than the high, that's the level I'm really liking, 19,500. I personally would not look to snipe that level. That would be something I would wait for a rejection before I would hop into. What I do like to the upside is this region right here, 19.7, 19.8. That is what we were talking about, looking for a local daily top. We talked about that on the open, how I could see that very much being the high for the day if we're to top out at 19.7, 19.8. Now you have to think about the flip side of this. I know 19.7, 19.8 is an important zone. So like I had mentioned in the waiting room, when we have an important zone that we have marked out, there's really three scenarios here. One, it comes up, taps our level to the dollar, comes down, you hit the sniper right there. Perfect. That's, whatever. Exactly as predicted, whatever you want to call a trade. For me, it's just being prepared for your level and price, hit it to the dollar. Okay. Next scenario, either you miss this trade and it does this price action, or it does something like this. It wicks above it and then comes right back down. In which instance, I would wait for price to come back below. Now let's go start taking some of these out. It's a little easier to see. We go above, come back below. I'm waiting for price to come back below, really 19.7 before I'm pulling the trigger if I don't catch the top or the top goes higher than I'm projecting. Again, if it's not hitting my to the level dollar and bouncing, I'm not trying to snipe it. And then there's the third route, which I think many of you probably have some issues with. And I know I've talked about the difference between beginning, intermediate, and advanced traders before. A lot of intermediate traders want to trade every single reversal. They have to. I want to catch the high, I want to catch the low for the day, got to catch the high, got to catch the low. Sometimes you just need to recognize when a trend is forming and trade with the trend. So scenario 3 of this level, we blast through here with high volume. That's something you really need to be cognizant of. Is it high volume? If you have exo charts, look to see if is it shorts closing that's causing the rise. Are there longs that are entering at the top? Are there nice imbalances at the top? Are there nice imbalances coming back down? All things that we'll go over in tutorials, but I'm sure most of you have heard before. I do like the idea, if we are to come up with high volume, either wicking into these inefficiencies to clear them somewhere in this area here, or again, just rejecting off those inefficiencies. So I could see if we make a high volume move, it would make sense in my mind to top out either at the beginning of these inefficiencies or going up to clear them. Now, if we get that high volume move with lots of imbalances, everything's looking good, what do we do next? Well, we have our important level. Maybe some people took that short when it first tapped. Maybe you were patient and you waited. If you're patient, you wait for this, the back test, and then up. That is the level I look for. If you have an important level and it gets no respect on a high volume move, wait for the back test of that level, because what you thought was resistance could very easily turn into support. You can see down here 18,657. I actually did not have this labeled from these candle closes. I had this labeled from the overall range volume profile. I'll go over that in a second, but this is a level, if we head down and we SFP, like I showed on, actually I will show that in the next chart, we do have an SFP level below that I would look to trade if we got a bounce from it. I'm not trying to snipe it, I'll go over that next. But if we do get an SFP level below, wait for that. Otherwise, I got a feeling there's a good chance we range in here today. And these pocket of inefficiencies maybe come up to wick in that 19.7, 19.8, and then come back down in range. That is what I would expect for today. I'm not really looking for longs below here. I will long if it bounces from an area of strength. I personally am not looking for scalps, but I have provided you with some scalp areas to look for. And so let's go into our last view on Bitcoin here, the high time frame. So first thing I want to point out is we do have a high time frame, HTF, wick volume gap. So what essentially I've done, I'm not going to do it for you all today. I've done it during a live session before. You're just going to have to take my word for it or do your own homework. Analyze these wicks on the lower time frame, and again, just finding a nice volume gap there. That is the SFP level I would look for for support if we're not taking out these lows right here. If those are going to hold and we're still taking out the lows, that's the level. But you can see quite clearly we're coming back into the range value area low. 19.6 is where we have range value area low. So again, a nice wick up to 19.7, back down for the day. I like that. Personally, I'm kind of thinking we head up. Again, it's more of a bias. It's more of a looking at some data. I'll show you some exo data that I had shared with you guys yesterday. Some of you sent me DMs saying it did not make sense, and I told you I would go over it today. I will here in a minute. But I'm really liking the idea. If we can get over, you can see how it's very inefficient. We have a very big inefficiency at the value area low, a range inefficiency. So that's going to be a big level to claim. Just telling you that right now. That's going to be a big level to claim. We can get above it. And again, this is a 12-hour chart, so they all have top wicks. So I can see a top wick coming up to right here and then right back down. 19.7, 19.8 is what I'm looking for as resistance above. We have, just as a recap, below us, this nice little golden pocket zone, both the slight front run and some room below to encompass down to the point of control, because I do like how we have all these little inefficiencies right here. I could see it coming down to fill that. Last thing I'm going to touch on with Bitcoin is going to be daily CVD. Again, because I got some questions about this yesterday. I posted yesterday morning before the rise occurred that the daily CVD was telling me that the local low was either in or very near, or that we were about to absolutely plummet. And I'm not going to take that off the table. Looking at the CVD right now, we absolutely could still plummet. That is very much on the table, especially when you take this context into consideration. What if we backtest the value area low and then just head down? That's extremely plausible. You cannot deny that scenario exists and that there's a good probability of it occurring. However, that's CVD. Again, that's what everyone else sees. They see the CVD being so high, price is so low, it's about to tank. Price is about to tank. Here's what my thinking, and I do know that there's some logic involved in this, not just TA. So CVD has climbed up. It's staying fairly stagnant really ever since this level here. The CVD has kind of remained in this area up here. What this could be showing me is that there are a lot of spot buys happening on other exchanges, because what we have on Bybit, on BitMEX, on FTX, on all these derivative exchanges, you have bots. And bots are examining other markets and they are reacting to it. They're taking trades off of it. Could this perhaps be an instance where people with leveraged longs have gotten rinsed out, but the bots that are buying because of spot buying have not unloaded yet? And they're basically staying in congruence with spot buying, which would perhaps indicate that we've got some buying interest down here. That's a possibility. It truly is. There is a case to be made for more upside here. The fact that if you followed my TA for longer than 6 months, you've heard me say this before, shorts opening do not cause a major fall. Longs closing will cause a major fall. And from this CVD right here, do you guys see a large amount of longs closing? I personally don't. I see we're getting a nice reaction here from clearing this pocket of inefficiencies. Beautiful reaction. Personally, I'm not getting too excited unless we break 19.8 with volume, and would maybe look to buy that backtest if it backtests and bounce. Because even though I'm not looking for scalps in this area, that's a pretty high probability trade if we get it. And that about wraps it up for me on the Bitcoin front. Michael, do you see any questions that I could address, or either from the audience or from any of our fellow pro traders?
Wow. Yeah, I send you and Paul a question. So a few other questions I will address first. Someone asked about TraderR and Dukey. There are 11 pro traders in our group. Martin, Neto, Younes. We got specialists basically for swing trading, scalping, Elliott Wave, and everyone is trading differently. Also on those sessions, normally there's 3 or 4 pro traders on the sessions going over New York Open, daily close, London Open, for example. We got swinger session, we got scalping sessions, and Elliott Wave sessions 2 times a week. And all the pro traders cover different stuff and trade differently. So I'm scalping, Netso is scalping, others are more swing trading, different styles. And if you want to have more of the pro traders on one call, you can join us on Charts and Beers this Friday. So let's see, maybe we can do it also live, but there will be more pro traders there going over what happened in the week and having some fun with charts and beers.
Yeah, I typically go over, this is more of a Bitcoin session on traditional markets. I do have some great altcoins. I'll be posting them in the altcoin channel, and we'll be sharing them with you all tomorrow on Charts and Beers. All I'm going to say is keep an eye on 3 of them: Atom, KNC, FTM. I will be going over those 3 tomorrow. Keep your eyes on them. Do some TA on your own and see if it matches up with what I'm going to show you tomorrow. It's a good exercise.
We got some nice aggressive longs up here, or pumping us up above daily open so far, but we got CVD increasing and open interest dropping. So not sure if it's really sustainable move so far. Let's see where we go from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a lower high so far. I mean, I could still come down, see us coming down to tap the lower low, coming back up, coming back down. I mean, I could easily see that. At one point, maybe shoot up to 19.7 and then back down, chop it for the rest of the day. Seems
also
very
got some
logical.
bearish CVD diffs on multiple time frames. and exchanges. So very important. Like we have Netzo here, for example, looking at CVD like a master between futures and spot, comparing it. It's magic, man. Love it.
Thank you, man.
Well, thank you all for your time. I'm going to go ahead and put our handy dandy disclaimer up on the screen. I hope you enjoyed this edutainment session. Everything here we're taking was discussed as paper trades, and it's not to be taken as financial advice, etc., etc. Please make sure you take notice of that. And we do truly appreciate your time. We have our next session coming up, an Elliott Wave session for our early access members. Again, the doors will be opening very soon, so you all will have access to that shortly. That is actually coming up in just over 3 hours. Tomorrow we have a early morning session with myself, Martin, Dookie, Trader R, to be followed by charts and beers. With that,
If you
go ahead.
still have questions, guys, sorry to interrupt. If you still have questions, hop onto the waiting room, tag Paul or PC or Netzo or myself, and we will come back and answer your questions in the waiting room inside the Discord.
I'll pop on to answer those questions that have been put in there. Not a problem at all.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right, everyone.
Thanks
have a great
tuning in,
day.
guys.
Stay safe.
All the
Be
best, everyone.
profitable. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.